We have the Buccaneers and the Falcons. Big thumbs up, huh?
Yeah, yeah, I was definitely happy about the way this turned out.
The Dirty
Not,
Birds.
they're getting making it closer for the Saints. Obviously, need to move up past them. And the only thing I don't like is that the Buccaneers had to win. But
Who also beat the Saints earlier this year, so that's kind of like
right,
a two-game lead
right,
into the division.
right. But this might have been the biggest upset of the week. The only reason it might not be is because it was a division game, so you never really know how those are going to turn out.
Yeah, yeah.
But the Bucs played a pretty good game, and maybe showing that Atlanta was overrated.
Well,
Honestly,
speaking of which, it, man, Atlanta fans are gonna hate me for the saying this, but I guess you don't really
um,
care, and I guess maybe I don't even really care either. Matty Ice had 4 turnovers this game.
yeah,
Matty Ice is also in third place right now in the league for most passing yards. Matty Ice is fucking lucky that they have Devontae Freeman and Julio Jones. Uh,
yeah.
I I'm not sold on him. I'm really not. I mean, if you if I was given like any NFL team and let's say like the greats are already gone, like our elite four, like is not even eligible, and they're like, oh, you can get a somewhat young and talented player, and if you give me like an option between like Matt Ryan and let's say Nick Foles and even Ryan Tannehill and Derek Carr, Matt Ryan would probably be like very bottom of my choice list out of like any of those. I just don't believe in him, and like, I really don't. And people are like, oh, but look how many yards he has. I'm like, yeah, well, Philip Rivers has the most passing yards, and he's losing games
Right.
too. So that doesn't really say a whole lot.
Matt Ryan is a guy, and Atlanta fans. I mean, they gave him this name, Matty Ice, and I remember a few years back when Freeze and Ryan were squaring off the game. I'm like, oh, this Matty Ice shit's cute, but he's not that great. I agree, flat out. He is a good quarterback, but he's not elite, not at
Yeah,
all.
that's what I mean. Like he's good, but
Yeah,
I I could
I mean,
probably
does he? He doesn't necessarily need to be elite for them to have a successful season or even be a contender, though. Like I don't. There's a lot of hang up with this whole elite title, and I mean it's flat out not true, and I don't really get what the big deal is because there's very few quarterbacks that are elite, and you just it's kind of like talked about being a realistic fan. Be a realistic damn fan.
yeah.
It's not an insult to say he's not elite. I mean, I'm not the president of the United States. Like I'm not gonna be. It's just true.
Yeah, I'm not a billionaire.
Right? Like, so what? Uh, he's good. He's not bad. There's no like real to him. He just has consistently played at a Hall of Fame worthy level. I guess that's really what we're talking about. When we say elite, we're talking about someone that's going to the Hall of Fame. And I don't
Yeah,
see it. And I don't necessarily think that it matters though.
yeah. I don't see it with him either, and you know, I despite us talking so much shit about Matty Ice right now, he did make a big comeback to tie the game to go
He
into
did.
overtime, and then in overtime,
He does. I mean, the nickname is because under pressure he does play good. Like he doesn't get any worse when the game's on the line,
uh,
and that's a really good kind of intangible quality about a quarterback. And it's one reason why he is such a good quarterback. Because game on the line or not, he doesn't choke.
yeah. Well, I mean, arguably he kind of did this game.
Well, kinda, but I know, but everyone loses. Like we talk about when Michael Jordan says how many game-winning shots he missed and stuff like that. Like, yeah, I mean, Andrew Luck sort of choked too. Whatever.
True. Yeah,
But
that's a good point.
I can't really. This was just an odd performance from Atlanta in general, though. I don't know if Tampa Bay just came out ready, or I'm having a hard time putting on my finger on what exactly it was that Atlanta did wrong. They just got beat. I mean, flat out, Tampa just played a damn good game everywhere, really.
You know what's even more questionable than how Atlanta lost? I feel like Tampa Bay is almost the new enigma in the NFL because they play like crap all season, but whenever it comes to divisional games, they play amazing. And
They've always been a tough division opponent, man.
it's just
Always.
weird. Like I don't understand how they're coming out and they did it to the Saints, which back earlier in the season, Saints were really playing top gear. Now they are, and it's almost flip flop because in the beginning of the season, Atlanta was playing great, and now they're not. I mean, they're not playing bad, but they're not winning games, and that's pretty much what's going to be the most important thing for them right now,
Hey,
especially trying to catch up to Carolina.
Tampa even beat the Saints the year the Saints won the Super Bowl, and Tampa was not a good team that year. I mean, Tampa's just always they're not a pushover. I don't know if Atlanta went into this thinking lowly of the Bucs or what, but you can never underestimate Tampa if you're a divisional opponent.
Mm-hmm.
They're in it to win it. I know it's a cliche, but it's true. They will fuck your whole season up and take joy in it. They might not accomplish anything themselves, but they
Screwing
will
you
fuck your
over
season.
is going to be a big
Yeah.
point. Now, hoping we have a little bit of extra time. What are your final thoughts right now on Jameis Winston? We're halfway through the season. Because, there was a 4th-and-1 play where Jameis Winston tried to take it himself, didn't get it. He had a chance to win the game in overtime and threw too low to his receiver. Couldn't. I mean, they won it, but not. They could have won it way sooner than they actually did. How do you feel about Jameis Winston and how he's been playing so far this season?
I think he's improving. I think the big word here is improving. Especially from if you look at the first game to the most recent games. I mean, yeah, he's still a rookie. He's got some rookie mistakes, but he's getting better. And if you're a Tampa fan, you got to be at least a little excited. I mean, this season isn't quite over yet. It's not looking good, but realistically, you're not playing for this season. You're playing for the next 10 seasons. And they got something to build on there. They really do. And I think he's going to pan out all right. I don't know what kind of level we're talking about here, but I really don't think he's just going to be. I don't think he's going to be a bust. I'll say that much. I think he's going to pan out to at least be a franchise quarterback. I don't know if he's going to be elite. I don't know if he's going to have a Hall of Fame career, but I think he's going to be a reliable guy for Tampa for the foreseeable future. I really do.
That's a very legit answer. That's a pretty real answer. They come out and everything. And I don't. That's actually not really what I expected for you to say. So I really like that a lot. Um,
All right.
I think what Winston really needs to do to even improve like just his own capabilities, you gotta utilize Mike Evans and Vincent Jackson more. These
Right.
are too good of wide receivers for you not to target them enough.
Right. I agree.
And maybe that'll come over time. Like maybe once he gets more and more familiar and more comfortable, you'll see these throws that should be thrown, to these guys. And I guess we'll find out. And it's good to say
I'll
that.
say this much: when he got drafted by Tampa this year, I was not too happy that Tampa was like getting the number one pick overall in this season. Because I knew that he was going to be a pain in our ass for years to come. So, and he probably will be. So,
That's legit.
bravo to Tampa.
Yeah. Well, with all of that, if you have anything else to add, you can leave us a comment. You can follow us on Twitter and Facebook. There are links in the description below. And we will definitely see you next week. Make sure to always watch our late call where we're going to talk about our mid-season assessment as well. Haha.